the quote. It'll give him an opportunity to be a passer, a rebounder, and probably easier spots to score from than he's had before. I hope that's true for a lot of the players. And that is his take on how he'll use Carmelo Anthony. Stephen A., from my understanding, you have some insight on this. How does Carmelo feel about this?
Carmelo and I have spoken about this on several occasions. He's not only excited, but ecstatic to be playing in the triangle offense because he's smart enough to know that it will facilitate his offensive game being even more lethal than it is, if you can believe it. I think these people that question this, I really question how much folks know about basketball. I'm going to say this statement right here on First Take, Skip. Our show right here on national television so we can put this in perspective. And I'm glad you're sitting down, Skip, and you don't stand up because you might faint when I say this. But when I break it down and educate you on the sport of basketball, which I have to do from time to time, let's just be real about it. The bottom line is you'll get where I'm saying. Carmelo Anthony has the potential. I'm not talking about winning games. I'm not talking about championships. I'm not talking about those things. As an offensive player, Carmelo Anthony has the chance to be every bit in this as lethal in this triangle offense as one Kobe Bryant.
Oh,
that's right, I said it. This
yeah.
dude right here.
Wow.
Let me tell you something right now. This dude, Carmelo Anthony, is 6'8", 240. He can post up. He can shoot the three. He can take you off the dribble. He's got a mid-range game. What has he shot from the free throw over the last 3 years? Over the last 5 years, Skip, he's averaged better than, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That was the last 8 years he shot better than 80% from the free throw line. Carmelo Anthony, as an offensive player, is unstoppable, period. 27.4 points. 45% shooting, 40% from three-point range. There is no place on the floor that this brother can't score. And what are you saying? The triangle offense, going to have to move the ball. Well, excuse me, that's why you got Jose Calderon, lethal three-point shooter. This dude, Tim Hardaway Jr., keep your eyes on this brother. He's gotten even better. I watched him in the Summer League, Skip Bayless. Tim Hardaway Jr. can play some basketball. Don't ask him to play the point. Don't ask him to dribble, set up plays, run an offense. That ain't his game. But if you're talking about somebody that can put it up, he can put it up. If you're Carmelo Anthony, you want to give the ball to dudes who can close. You don't want to give it to a Raymond Felton, who you got to pray that he makes shot. Iman Shumpert, love his game, love his athleticism, loves his defensive tenacity. Love that about him. But he's not a great shooter. J.R. Smith, sporadic, even though he can light it up from time to time. But you're going to have people around Melo who can shoot the basketball. So when he gives it up, he'll give it up. But the point is, because you're not going to be able to key on him as much as you customarily did because of the movement of the basketball and him being surrounded with other shooters, that's going to open things up even more for this offensive juggernaut. Last statement, Carmelo Anthony is one of the top 5 offensive players of the modern day era. This dude is unstoppable. And Phil Jackson's triangle system is only going to help that. Kobe was smaller. Melo's bigger, and he can post you. Remember I said that.
I'm glad you're sitting down.
It's coming.
I'm glad you're sitting down. You almost fainted.
Not one word you uttered shocked me at all. I always say on this show, Carmelo is a top 5 offensive player in this league. The question here becomes, and we do know that the Zen Master loves to drop little bombshells in every interview he gives just so that he can sit back and chuckle as we all run hysterically and overreact on Twitter about, oh, my God, did you see what Phil just said about Carmelo? Here's the question I have for Carmelo, and I know he's looking forward right now to the triangle. But Phil did say we can't have anyone, I'm paraphrasing slightly, we can't have anyone taking 25 shots a game. Carmelo, as we all know, has been spoiled in the Big Apple. In the Mecca of basketball, it's been Carmelo's team and only Carmelo's team. So every night he takes the stage at Madison Square Garden, right. It's like, I'm going to shoot it 30 times because that's who I am, that's what I do. And there's a spoil factor there where you get used to doing that. Now, Phil also said Carmelo said through their negotiations, I want help. I need more help. The triangle will be good for Carmelo, but I think it's going to be a culture shock for him, a shock to the early system, early in the year, because you can't take 25, 28, 30 shots a night. Even though I will point out to you that when Phil was coaching Kobe's Lakers, 4 times Kobe led the NBA in shots attempted.
Thank you.
4 times. So
he's going to
again,
do what he wants to do.
okay, but that's Kobe.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, to me, do I think Carmelo can be ever a better basketball player than Kobe Bryant? I don't. As much as I think he's a top 5 offensive player,
no.
Kobe has more to his game. He can distribute better than Carmelo, even though Carmelo is capable. I just don't know if he's ever going to have the desire to distribute that Kobe also brings with the shots
Let
taken.
me say this. Let me be very clear, Skip Bayless, because I already got some players, and I won't mention their name, but they're texting me right now saying I'm crazy. How could I say that about Melo compared to Kobe? And a couple of them are future Hall of Famers. I'll talk to them later. I'll call them later.
Okay.
But here's the deal. Here's the deal. I will tell you this. What everybody's missing about that triangle is that there are plenty of times that the triangle has broke down. There are plenty of times that coaches have figured out the triangle. The problem is when all else failed, Kobe said, bump that. I got this. And he did his thing and came to the rescue, making it look like the triangle was more effective than it had actually been. Who's capable of doing that? Melo is too. Melo is the type of dude, yeah, I'll distribute the basketball. Yeah, I'll take my 20 shots a game instead of 25 or 30. But when it breaks down and you got other cats that can't do it, here is where I am.
Okay.
Give me the rock and I'll take you to the promised land. And that's what happens. It's not just about moving the basketball. It's about understanding that when it broke down, what you're going to do. I remember Ernie Grunfeld, the former executive for the New York Knicks, who's now in Washington, sat there years ago when the Chicago Bulls were beating on the Knicks. He said there's been plenty of times, whether it was Pat Riley or Jeff Van Gundy, where, okay, we figured it out. The problem is we couldn't stop Jordan. Jordan will make any offense look great. Kobe will make any offense look great. And Melo has the potential to do just that as well. Look out. As long as you got shooters, people who can put the ball in the hole around Carmelo Anthony, and you don't get to key on him, it's a lights-out scenario, y'all. Melo, offensively, ain't the complete player that Kobe is. We know that. But when it comes to putting that ball in the hole, there is only one person I put on the level of Carmelo Anthony, and his name is Kevin Durant. That's about it.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
So bigger picture, are you suggesting that the Knicks are now a threat to the Cleveland Cavaliers this year?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I mean, who else
After
do you
all
have?
that,
You got
Hardaway this,
Samuel Dallenberg.
and
No.
Calderon this, and Hardaway.
Wait a minute. Skip. Wait a minute. The Cleveland Cavaliers and a healthy Derrick Rose with the Chicago Bulls are the top 2 teams in the Eastern Conference. Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra and Mickey Harrison have made me promise not to disavow the Miami Heat.
Well, you better not.
They are hell-bent on making sure we understand. They're not going anywhere.
They're not going anywhere.
But I look at Cleveland and Chicago and then everybody else.
Okay, so listen, Stephen A., in the same article, and I'm gonna toss this up to Skip, in that same article.
In the East.
Yeah, Phil Jackson said that nobody could actually ever be Michael Jordan.